The quotes I had, mostly made up by myself, on the inside of my bathroom door, I now digitalized, and I now have them in Notion. I call them learnings, because these are basically patterns I saw. These are mostly patterns I saw again and again, and I also wanted to figure out how I can best respond to them. And so, as I have seen these patterns again and again and again, similar to how Ray Dalio in his book Principle describes basically his principles, I wanted to put them down somewhere. And what I needed also is basically examples from my actual life, such that these would not be so abstract. The reason they eventually became so abstract is mostly because, well, the abstraction happens when I take real-life examples, so basically real-life data I saw in my own life, and then I try to figure out the similarities, and then I even try to compress basically hours of, let's call it, video footage and sound footage, etc., into a very compressed short statement that is basically, if it would be saved, only a couple of kilobytes big, because it is text. So what I'm doing now, as I'm getting rid of these quotes, is, okay, for one, it probably will be a disadvantage if I don't have access to these quotes, but since I began to add them digitally anyway, the workflow already was interrupted. So now the main database of these quotes is no longer this wall here. And before I also already had basically a different digital database, but now it is going to be a Notion page. Now inside this Notion page, so basically inside this page in Notion, I now can also write additional things, and I don't have to basically reduce my bandwidth to a couple of words, which then also might be quite useful if I want to expand on a certain quote I have. One quote I had on here, for example, was, "It never ends." And what I mean by this is that there is an illusion, and this illusion I think is created mostly by the dopamine system. And this illusion is that if you just get this one thing done, eventually you can rest. But of course you can never rest, because as soon as you begin to allow yourself to rest even a little bit, of course apart from sleeping, etc., what I mean here is to always tackle the next challenge that your subconscious already has figured out that it is time to tackle now. So as soon as one begins to accept that one cannot do this one thing right now, which the subconscious is beginning to suggest, and then you fear the thing, and then eventually you realize you need to execute, and you need to try right now, because otherwise the opportunity is already gone, and because life seems to exist